the hardest part of that ring.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 102 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to celebrate the wonder of professional wrestling. My name's Adam and my mic is set up perfectly as always, and I'm joined by Sam.
Hello.
By John.
Hello.
And by Brett.
Hey.
And John, you're back from Italy.
I'm back from Italy.
How did you manage that?
Relatively easy. I went to the airport and got on the plane. I came back.
That's bold.
Late Sunday night.
And what was it like? Was the whole of Italy a ghost town?
No, I was in Naples and it was still pretty lively. No one over there. We didn't see that many face masks at all. Not until the Sunday, and even then we only saw a few.
So,
had a bloody lovely time though. Lots of pizza, lots of Negronis.
You're currently in quarantine, right?
Work said I need to stay at home for 2 weeks.
Cool. So that's me in quarantine. I think I'm out now. You in quarantine.
Yep.
Liv Morgan in quarantine and Asuka in quarantine during the actual Elimination Chamber match.
Haha, that is very true.
Thank you.
I didn't say it was funny. I was going to say Brett and I are the only two who haven't been signed off or told to work from home, but we always do because we're self-employed. So
yeah,
we're loving it.
No one to send us.
I mean, I'm secretly loving it as well. I checked my work emails last night, hoping I would get an email saying, "Oh, don't come in. We want you to work from home." I didn't have an email. I was like, "Bloody hell, I'm going to have to get up tomorrow and go to work."
I am absolutely terrified at the prospect of me being sent back to quarantine if our company decides to go down that route, because those last 2 weeks were rough. My chair is not built for me to be sat on it for 8 hours at a time.
You just hate your own company.
Yeah.
Terrified when you're stuck in your own mind for a whole day.
Yeah, I bet it gets pretty dark, doesn't it, Sam?
I go to some dark places.
Yeah,
occasionally.
no
I watch
doubt.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Oh dear. So yeah, our last podcast before we get onto Elimination Chamber, last one was episode 101, which was our AEW Revolution review, and I discovered when I was updating the YouTube playlist that was our 50th pay-per-view review.
Wow.
Oh,
big
neat.
milestone.
Yeah. So just to give a quick rundown, because we love stats. Well, I love stats, and
we all love stats. We're big stats
doing
fans.
the talking. We have had 50 pay-per-view reviews, 12 top fives, 9 rewinds, 9 quizzes, 7 specials, 5 interviews, 5 roundups, and 4 draft episodes.
Wow.
Wow,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, amazing breakdown. This podcast will, of course, be our 51st pay-per-view review. We're going to talk about 3 hours and 40 minutes of WWE Elimination Chamber 2020. And I guess we're basically treading water now, aren't we? Until a massive pirate ship can come and pick us up and take us all the way to Tampa.
It's only a few. What's it? A month away? 6 weeks.
A month away until
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
I can't believe they haven't done that yet.
I'm sure they have.
Somebody will do it. I'm sure. I'm sure that'll happen. Edge looks a bit like a pirate, like an old,
Definitely does. Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah.
does,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
weather
For
beaten.
sure.
Okay, so we will crack on. Before we carry on, I just want to say, listeners, I'm sure you do already. You listen to 100% of every single podcast we ever do, but it's well worth listening to the end of this one because we are going to be doing a little bit of a giveaway in the run-up to WrestleMania. So yeah, listen to the end for that, and we'll be back in just a second for our Elimination Chamber review.
X-Plex on the apron. Hardest part of the ring.
WWE Elimination Chamber 2020 was held at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia with an attendance. We actually got an attendance this time of 14,853.
Decent.
Interesting timing, isn't it, with all this stuff that's going on? I wonder, I mean, we can see Trump doesn't give a shit. I'm pretty sure Vince probably doesn't give a shit either. But yeah, I wonder how attendances might look in the next few weeks.
Do you reckon we get a WWE event? Do you reckon WrestleMania could be behind closed doors?
Well, did you see the Stardom show that happened?
I did see that you posted
last
that,
week.
yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, they did a show called No People Gate at the Korakuen Hall, which was just the Stardom wrestlers and the comms team there. and Liger was on commentary marking out for the whole thing, which was amazing.
Oh wow, that must have been weird to watch.
Yeah, it was really strange, but it was a really good show, actually. Worth watching for those curious about Joshi wrestling and empty arena wrestling.
Nice.
Venn diagram of that is quite small. Imagine the overlap.
Yeah,
There's three of us.
I can't see Vince ever agreeing to postpone an event. I think he'd be
Certainly not WrestleMania.
And Trump is definitely not going to enforce such a thing, is he?
No.
He's gonna take the Boris approach of just take it on the chin and let all those people die.
Has it really affected America as much as it has Europe, though? I mean, I don't think it has it?
No.
They're fine. They've got an entire ocean between them and us.
Yeah, I mean, some
That's
could
how it
argue,
works.
similar to you, Sam, that the diets over there. In fact, I'm not going to start slugging off Americans because
Wow.
we have some lovely listeners. But I was going to say, all the salt, all the stuff they eat, maybe that sort of locks down and
Chlorinated chicken.
pickles their
Just
immune
to
system.
confirm,
Yeah,
you're cool. You don't want to slag off the listeners or the American fans or anything like that.
yeah,
Just you, Sam.
You're okay going after Sammy.
yeah. Of course,
Your long-term friend. And
100 episodes has proved that you're open to it, and sometimes you get involved in it yourself.
Only to soften the blow from the others making fun of me.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll leave you alone for a little bit. Let's talk about...
wrestling?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's it. That's what we should talk about. That's a good idea. Actually, I had something to ask you guys before we get into the card. Now we're 100 episodes in. Are you guys happy with your roles? We're having a little job review here. Sam, you always read out the card. John, you do listener comments. Brett, you do the emails. Are you guys happy? Do you want to swap?
I thought you meant I want to be the host.
That one's not up for grabs.
I thought I was just about to get sacked, or a new contract that said if I missed an episode, I'm out.
I mean, Brett, you may as well be on a 0 hours contract anyway, the amount of times you turn up for the pod.
You are very much the Brock Lesnar to this podcast, Brett.
You are.
The Goldberg, more like. Even less.
Maybe Undertaker, actually. Let's be honest.
If anything, you should be praising me because I'm taking this opportunity to give you a little
I wasn't
review.
ready for a mid-podcast review.
Are you happy?
Yes.
Yeah? Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. I just
sure?
I thought Brett might be getting bored of reading that bit at the end, or
Brett's loving it. It's the easiest bit.
might fancy a promotion.
No,
Actually, it's Brett. Of course he doesn't. Okay, Sam, do it. You're so good at it.
I'm happy with my level.
Was my job up for offer there to Brett? I'm not okay with that. Right, pre-show, we had Viking Raiders versus Hawkins and Ryder. Did you watch it, Brett?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Pre-show Jones.
Yeah.
Any good?
No.
That's a shame because I feel that should be a good match.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, how long is the pre-show?
An hour, I think.
Because it says here the time of the match was 4 minutes 50.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I don't remember it being on for long, to be honest.
That's brutal. All right, main card, we got Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak. We had Humberto Carrillo versus Andrade in a US title match. We then had our first Elimination Chamber match, which was Miz and Morrison defending their not their US titles, their WWE SmackDown tag team titles. Yeah, I can see why you wanted to fire me. Versus the Newsday, versus Usos, versus Heavy Machinery, versus LHP, which I think was Lucha House Party.
It was.
Versus Rude and Ziggler. We then had a no disqualification match between Aleister Black and AJ Styles, who rocked up with the OC. We then had a tag team match again. Rollins and Murphy versus the Street Profits for the Raw tag team titles. That was followed up by Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro versus Braun Strowman in a 3-on-1 handicap match for the IC title. And then we finished off with our main event, Sarah Logan versus Ruby Riott versus Natalia versus Liv Morgan versus Asuka versus Shayna Baszler for the number one contendership for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania.
God, long card.
Brett, you sure you don't want to do that job in the next set? No, that was good. There were a lot of wrestlers on that card.
You cannot polish a turd, unfortunately. You can get Michael Buffer could be reading that card out and it would still be dull as dishwater.
Not a lot of big names on the card.
No.
I was going to say, we're going to talk about the key matches, and we've decided to do both the Elimination Chamber matches for the key matches, and that's it, basically, because, none of the 4 major championship holders were on it, unless you count Becky Lynch watching a bit of telly. at the end.
It was a weird card, to be honest. I felt like, to be perfectly honest, if I had to sum it up in one go, I would say it felt like a main event pay-per-view rather than a Raw or SmackDown one.
Ooh. And Viking Raiders and Hawkins and Ryder were still on the pre-show. I mean, that is bad.
But why sum it up in one word when we can sum it up in about, what do you reckon, 45 minutes?
A concise 40 minutes. Let's do it.
Let's give it a go. So, as I said, the key matches we've picked out are the Elimination Chamber matches. And we're going to start off with the first one, which was the one for the SmackDown Tag titles. So this was Miz and Morrison versus New Day versus Usos versus Heavy Machinery versus Lucha House Party versus Rude and Ziggly, as Sam has actually written in the card.
I quite like writing it as Ziggly.
In the running order. Happy to have the comeback of a rules card at the start of this. We always like some rules and some admin at the start of a match.
I do love a rules card.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, it's have a lot of text that people need to read. Yeah, more of it.
It's no War Games rule card. But it's up there.
War Games has pages, though. It's not just a card.
War Games has like a little PowerPoint before anyone even comes out to the ring.
Yeah.
This match was interesting. How much do you guys reckon it hurts to actually get thrown through a Perspex sheet? Because I don't think it would hurt that much.
Oh, I reckon it would hurt.
I thought this a lot during this pay-per-view. It makes a really, really bad noise as if it would, but I don't think it does. It's because it's got a lot of give. It would hurt more to go into a hard glass wall. What do you think, Brett? Brett's the wrestler here.
Hey, I can't say I've ever run into any Perspex or glass, to be honest, but I reckon it's not that bad.
Really?
It doesn't look that bad, I don't think.
Hard. I think it looked really hard. And plus, Otis is a big guy. Probably hit the sides going through.
Can anybody get any Perspex for WrestleMania for us to try, for Sam to try, more specifically?
Swing past B&Q on the way.
Get me a Perspex window and I'll run through it and I'll be fine.
As it splinters and shards at you.
But that's the thing,
throat.
it doesn't do that, does it? It just kind of pops out of the frame and then that was that.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of this match?
I liked the first 2/3 quite a lot, actually. I thought it was really fun, especially Lucha House Party. I thought they were brilliant. The last third, I kind of like, okay, I'm not really into Miz and Morrison. I don't really care about them very much.
Yeah, Brett?
Yeah. Overall, I really enjoyed this, actually. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought they had... I think the best thing about this, and perhaps them introducing the Lucha House Party into this, was a match like an Elimination Chamber. You want people that can utilise the whole structure.
Yeah.
And boy, did they. Especially when
really did.
Lindsay Dorado sort of like scaled across the roof and then dropped.
They did like a shooting star press almost from the top.
That was amazing. They were great in this from the get-go.
That was moment of the night for me, I think. It was just so good, so original, and it looked amazing.
Yeah. I thought the Otis and the Ziggler stuff was really good as well.
Yeah, when Otis caught Ziggler and he didn't move. He didn't move. He didn't flinch. He just took him. Amazing.
Yeah, the shame about that was the move he then proceeded to do to him was probably a lot less harmful than just letting him drop.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
It's like,
what did you do? Just hang him up on the ropes,
yeah.
didn't he?
I was like, oh, come on, you got to do something after that.
Yeah, good point.
Can we talk about how hot Otis is right now?
Well, when he was rubbing his belly up against the Perspex.
That was amazing. I
love the little crop top he wears. It just makes it feel more obscene somehow. Like he's covering it up slightly.
He's just so full of character. So that even just in those moments, just in his little Perspex box, he's entertaining.
Yeah, he's really funny. He's really funny. And the crowd
did
loved
you
him.
see Tucker's... I loved the close-up on Tucker's face after Otis went through the Perspex. Like, he was sort of like crawling towards him and he was just like, he looked really gutted for his friend.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, Otis!
Yeah.
Also, if I was Tucker, I would be quite worried if Otis got badly injured.
Yes.
Say that though, Tucker is really good in the ring. Like, of the two, he's way better than Otis. Like, he's surprisingly agile.
Yeah, but can he do the worm?
He did that senton as well.
Yeah,
off the
that
top of the
senton
pod.
was sick.
It was. I know what you're saying though. I mean, Heavy Machinery are great, but they did appear a bit green at times in this,
Yeah.
especially when like Lindsay got up on that pod, and then obviously they were building to that. It was really weird. There were some weird moments when they were clearly not really sure what to do, and Otis got in the ring and then out of the ring, and back in the ring, and was glancing up to Dorado and. Just crack on. Just go and punch someone.
A little bit like when the computer's controlling a wrestler in WWE or something.
It was exactly like that, like a real WWE game.
Not really sure what the buttons are.
Yeah, that's true. What about the Usos? So good. Always.
Yeah,
Always.
especially with
So
them
good.
and the New Day. Like those two teams have such good chemistry together, and like the stuff
Yeah.
where they were doing stuff together against. I don't know who they were ganging up on. Who were they
Miz
ganging up on?
and Morrison.
So that was on Miz and
Yeah.
Morrison
Yeah,
when
that
it was
was
just the
really
last
cool.
3 teams left.
They hit their like frog splashes from the top of the pods as well, didn't they? Both from either direction, all the way down. That's a long way down.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
goodness.
long
That
way
was
down.
quite awkward when they also had the splashes and Miz rolled one of them up, but it kind of wasn't quite as smooth as it could have been. And it was all a
there's
little bit
lot
like.
a lot of those moments in this match, wasn't there? Like there's a bit where
Yeah, I
Kofi
thought so.
tried to do a move, but it kind of missed. It kind of really stood out because you just don't expect Kofi to miss anything. He's so good normally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Even the ref was slow at points as well. There was a couple of times when he went to count, he was really slow. It was just like, is everybody like, have they all just had a big meal or something?
I quite like the New Day's ring gear.
Oh, I made note of that
Yes.
as well. I loved that ring gear, especially
colour
when they
of
were
our
going against the
numbers.
Usos in the sort of dark trousers and stuff. It looked lovely.
Uso's so cool. Every time they walk out, you're like, they are legit cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were legit cool.
But yeah, I think a match of fun moments and some amazing spots, but mostly sort of a bit disjointed. And
Yeah, fair.
So I was not a big fan of this match, to be perfectly honest. Like, I don't think it was terrible or like awful by any stretch, but I feel like it was kind of maybe a bit too reliant on big spots, and it was a lot of kind of like everyone stumbling around, not really knowing what they're doing, and then big spot, and then more stumbling.
I think that's fair. I enjoyed it overall, but yeah, I take those points.
that's a result of having a tag team elimination chamber match, I guess. Just so many people,
Yeah.
moving parts.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think kind of they did good with the parts they had. I think kind of it'd be good to see Lucha House Party get pushed a bit more, to be honest,
Yeah,
because they
definitely.
were really kind of making up the numbers. And it's like, those guys are talented wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
shouldn't just be kind of like joke wrestlers on the card.
I remember Grand Metalik in the Cruiserweight Classic. I bloody loved him.
You know, it took me ages to actually click that it was Gran Metalik and Lindsay Dorado, because at first I just saw them come out and just thought, okay, cool, so it's Kalisto and Lindsay's grown long hair, cool.
yeah. I thought one of them was Kalisto as well. I had to do some googling to figure out it was Graham Metalik.
It took me ages to work that out. He's lost a bit of timber.
He has, hasn't he?
He
That's
has.
good.
The hair should have given it away, though.
Well, yeah, exactly. I just thought I hadn't seen Lindsay Dorado in so long. He's probably grown long hair.
I think that makes obvious that you guys were doing a lot of skipping of entrances, but then this is the perfect pay-per-view for that. Because when it got to the main event, which we'll get to shortly, I was like, oh, I've got 40 minutes. And then it's like, skip all the entrances. Oh, okay, we've got about 28 minutes.
Yeah.
This is good. Speaking of that, should we move on to that now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this was the main event, the second Elimination Chamber match to decide who is going to face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. This was, of course, between basically just a load of roadkill, a load of wrestlers that they don't really care about and don't want to push, and Asuka and Shayna Baszler. Who were the other ones? Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Natalia. Sorry.
And Natalia,
Any
yes.
match that starts out with Natalia versus Ruby Riott and doesn't have Jim the Anvil Neidhart on a table, they've made a big mistake somewhere.
I thought those two were brilliant though.
Yeah, to be
I
fair,
quite like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Natalia took a beating in
Yeah.
this elimination chamber. She took that,
Sarah Logan.
knee
died.
like
Yeah.
shinned her
Shining
right in
Wizard
the
kind of-
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
nasty.
And then there was just so many bumps she took.
Sarah Logan looks a bit dangerous at times.
Yeah, she does. The crossbody off the top of the pod
Yeah.
where she just kind of kneed Natalia in the face was pretty entertaining.
But I mean, this was very, very different from the first one.
Yeah.
John, did you like it?
No, I thought the pacing of it was really weird. Like, I understand what they're trying to do with Baszler, and it makes sense. But to have her like standing around for what felt like ages, waiting for like Liv
was basically
Morgan to come
10
out.
minutes.
Yeah, it was just.
There were 3 minutes 10 seconds between whoever it was, Natalia tapping out and Liv Morgan. coming out.
Yeah. I mean, it
3
should have been,
minutes, 10 seconds.
she's the
What were
first
they
woman to
thinking?
ever eliminate everyone in an Elimination Chamber match. And that should be such a cool thing. And it just felt... It didn't feel cool because of all the waiting around. And just like, oh, okay, here comes Liv Morgan. And then here comes Asuka.
And the
We're
thing,
done.
it was definitely like they're making her a Brock Lesnar because it wasn't even a case of like she was just getting rid of them. It was like the same few moves on each person, you know. So it's like suplex, F5, you're out, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like rinse, repeat. So, but I was sort of like, okay, you know, the level these people are, that's not too bad. They're bigging her up, and then but like she sort of just rinse repeated on Asuka as well. And I was just like, I was hoping that there was going to be a battle, like in that last match. I had a feeling, obviously, that it was going to be Baszler going over, but I thought they could have strung that out longer so that there was a proper match in there.
I don't know, because I've literally only finished watching this about 20 minutes ago or so. I feel like this is one of the worst matches I've seen for a very, very long time.
Ooh. Cool.
I really
Sam's
do,
back
because
properly.
okay, so I'm going to try and be positive here in the fact that kind of I like Sarah Logan, I liked what Ruby Riott and Natalya were doing, and I liked kind of like the stuff with Liv Morgan as well. And I feel like kind of the problem with this match was all entirely down to pacing. Like, even if, say, for example, you write off Liv Morgan, Natalya, Ruby, and Sarah, and you've just got Asuka and Shayna, it's like kind of, you know, you had like nearly 10 minutes in that match where no one was doing anything, where it was like, man, you could have seen two of the top NXT champions wrestle each other for a decent amount of time rather than it just being this weird squash match.
True, and I agree with that ending part, but to counter it, I loved every moment of Asuka shouting away in the pod.
Oh my god, it's so good, wasn't
Like
it? Right?
that was probably
But then-
my favourite part of the match.
That's the thing, is like kind of a good payoff would have been like kind of Asuka eventually just gets so fucked off, she just smashes that little perspex away and gets in. It just kind of...
There had been
that would have been
rumours
good.
that Asuka's got like a wrist injury or a hand injury. So I don't know whether maybe they were protecting her a little bit, which is why
They
they
did
didn't.
mention that during the match. Yeah, they said she had a wrist.
I thought that was just an excuse for her, for how she loses, you know?
Yeah,
like
same.
sometimes if they're gonna squash someone like Asuka, there's got to be a reason, and it's because she's hurt. That's why I thought the wrist injury bit was spoken about.
Even then, like, it feels like they missed a trick here with Liv Morgan, where if they had released Asuka first and had Shayna and Asuka battle it out, and then Liv kind of come out last, put up a little bit of a fight, still get eliminated,
Yeah.
crowd would have gone nuts for that.
Yeah. Also, the whole thing was about... Well, one of the stories going into this was about the Riot Squad, the sort of feud between them.
Yeah.
And
they
that never got a chance.
Yeah, never had them fight each other because Shayna eliminated them all before Liv
For
came
me, the strangest thing of all of this was Natalya, who was entering a women's elimination chamber match as revenge on Randy Orton for attacking her friend Beth Phoenix.
But
I don't...
Natalya was blatantly in this because she's a veteran to try and help things go along.
Definitely.
She was like the wise head to be in there.
She took an absolute pummeling, so I'm not going to go too hard on her because that elimination was
She
brutal.
did. I thought she... I'm not a fan of Natalya at all, but I thought she did brilliantly in this match, actually.
She did.
Wow. It was rough. It was rough, that door segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough.
But yeah, it was kind of... It was a poor match, in my opinion. I think kind of a bad one to finish the show on.
Yeah, I agree. I like you said, I think the pacing was rubbish. Yeah, it sucked the life out of it a bit. And the crowd was kind of dead the whole way through this pay-per-view. It wasn't very live anyway, and this did not help.
Yeah. I thought I was just biased against it because they did Asuka like that. But it seems it wasn't just that.
The last thing is that unfortunately it was of predictable results. This was by far perhaps the most predictable result possible. And it was just a little bit like, well, we don't need that.
Yeah, they've already started the story, but after this, like 2 weeks ago. You know, they've started building Shayna versus Becky ages ago. So this was felt such a formality.
It was a very... Yeah, I mean, like, I wish they'd replace this with just like a 30-minute match between Asuka and Shayna.
Oh my god, that'd be so good.
That would have been sick.
I do have to say, like, when Liv bumped into the side of the chamber, that was brutal.
And the
Okay, so that
perspex
point
straight
made
afterwards.
the perspex looked a bit hard.
Yeah. That looked rough.
That is
I'll tell you what,
really
though.
rough.
She had a good day out for, as far as like time worked for money earned. She was in the ring for maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So, decent value.
Wow, guys, that was a tirade of opinions.
What's your opinion, Adam?
Just jumping in on each other. Like, oh, yeah. So I felt like Asuka, just in the pod, just waiting my chance.
Okay, you've had your 8 minutes. Go.
No, well, I mean, yeah, you basically covered everything that I was going to mention, and it'd be weird to go back and address individual points that you made. But yeah, you covered it all basically.
Well done, guys.
So did you like it or did you dislike it?
I didn't like it at all, really. No, I've got no problem with the long-term storyline. It does make sense to push Shayna Baszler, but it's like, I mean, Sam, you've had problems with this a lot in the past. It's just having this women's division. I mean, if you compare it to what they do in NXT, where sort of everybody, but they've got a lot of top people,
right?
It seems like they're just adding Shayna Baszler to Charlotte and Becky.
It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like WWE have the best women's wrestling in the world.
Yeah.
So why do we have a match of 4 jobbers, Asuka and Shayna, as your main event?
Yes, and like
weird.
Ruby Riot's good. I
Yeah.
think she's got a lot to her, and in terms of her character, and she's different with her look, obviously. And it's just the fact that I think the clutch on Logan was like 1 second, and then Riot it was like 2 seconds, and then Natalya was barely any more, and it just makes them look really bad. And like you said, with the way that they spaced the match, we know that in the Royal Rumble people don't come out exactly with the same intervals. They sort of they do the buzzer to make it work with what's going on. And in this, they should have seen Baszler standing there. The crowd she was getting some heat, but it's like, why don't we just let Asuka out now? And like Brett said, now they can have a longer fight. And all these people just were made to look dog awful. Dog awful? Is that a phrase? God awful. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't think it was particularly good.
Let's move on to best of the rest.
Yeah, because there's a lot of good stuff to talk about actually in this pay-per-view, I think.
There is. So yeah, we're going to talk about best of the rest now. This could be a match, this could be a moment, but I've got a feeling it's going to be a match or two. John, why don't you pick something?
Yes, I was hoping I was going to go first because I'm going to choose Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Opening match.
Before this started as well, I didn't think this was going to be great because I thought they'd be too similar. You know, when you get like 2 wrestlers that are quite similar and it kind of they just sort of cancel each other out a little bit. But it was absolutely barnstorming, and Daniel Bryan took a hell of a beating.
He really did. I think kind of this match is very much a case of Daniel Bryan looking to put use his experience to put kind of less established but kind of fantastic wrestlers over.
I hope so. I hope we get more of it as well.
This is another one of match like in a Rumble before where it's like Daniel Bryan trying to introduce a little bit of the indies into WWE as well.
Yeah.
You know, because so it was hard hitting. There was dragon suplexes. You know, it was definitely not a WWE match.
No, and his selling was amazing. Like there was moments in this match I was seriously concerned about his well-being.
I was going to say, like, kind of, I think we can confirm that Daniel Bryan's neck is definitely okay at this point.
That's slow-mo. I didn't need to see that slow-mo 3 times.
No, that was a bit much.
Because actually, it's like in football when you get a foul sometimes, and the slow-mo makes it look a lot worse. Because I think it was bad, but the way it made it seem like the head and then the whole body weight sort of bent the neck. So actually, a neck bending like that isn't terrible. It did look bad, but I think the slow-mo made it look much worse than it was. But it was. I was quite surprised at the start of this. I was like, "What? Why is this match happening? And why is Daniel Bryan opening the pay-per-view? And this is a bit of a shame because there was no big history, was there? It was basically announced on SmackDown on the Friday that this was going to happen. So I was pleasantly surprised because I had a bad feeling it was just going to be some short, wasted match, wasted opportunity. But yeah, I reckon it looks as if maybe they'll carry this on.
So
I hope so.
Turned this on and thought I've accidentally put the pre-show on or something. And so I started fast forwarding and I was like, oh fuck no, that's not the pre-show, this is actually on the main card. So good for Drew Gulak.
I think he could be such a good mid-card heel on the main roster. Drew Gulak,
he is really good.
He's got a bit of like Dean Malenko about him, you know.
thing I found about this match and some of the others perhaps we're going to talk about is that there was some really good matches on this pay-per-view, this one being one of them, but it never really got me to like really excited or hype level.
Yeah, same.
Are you saying that at no point were you frothing?
Yeah, I wasn't. I was not frothing, and
Not even foaming.
and like it sort of should have been, because like watching it, like there was so much I did love in this match, and some of the others, but I don't know, none of it really got to a level that I'm enjoying in other promotions, shall we say?
Compare it to AEW, what we talked about, like the emotion and the storytelling and just the way they get you engaged in the matches. I mean, maybe I was going to say it's because we haven't been watching week to week, but then we're not necessarily watching every week of Dynamite either. So it's
no, or New Japan. That's like, you know,
yeah. But I totally agree. I felt that throughout the whole thing. I was like, God, nothing's really getting me like pumped and really up for this.
But in no way was this like one of their middle of the roads pay-per-views where like you couldn't slag it off, but you couldn't praise it. Like there was good.
Well,
you know, I think there was, but I think there was quite a lot of good stuff in this, but it just, again, it just didn't peak.
Yeah.
We're going to definitely have very differing opinions come the overall rank, because I was not a fan of much, if any, of this.
Oh, I think there was 3 really, really good matches and 1 batshit crazy surprise.
Cool. Well, we're going to find out what that surprise is. Batshit crazy surprise. We should be able to think what that is.
Can I move on to the next best of the rest?
Yes, go on.
Which is the batshit crazy surprise, which is Sami Zayn, your new Intercontinental Champion.
Are you fucking kidding me? This is worst of the rest.
Come on. Who thought they were going to win in this match?
Well, that doesn't mean it was a great match.
It wasn't a good match, but it's the most crazy result I think I can remember from WWE in a long time.
And also, Sami Zayn was like pure entertainment in this match, which did make it more enjoyable for me to watch than some of the great wrestling.
This is so interesting because this was easily my favourite match of the night. So
I legit have this in worst of the rest.
Shall we combine the 2 segments and chat about this?
Yes.
I hated this all the way through until the pin, and then I was like, this is amazing.
Come on, I just love Sami Zayn coming out like dressed like Che Guevara. Like, come on. I love Sami Zayn.
I had
so
my
Adam,
notes
why
ready.
was it so bad?
I've got my notes on what I thought was going to be the next match. I wasn't ready for this, so hold on. I mean,
may I go through why I really like this?
Okay.
How many times do you ever see kind of like a giant monster versus 3 people in a handicap match in WWE where kind of like, oh yeah, it turns out the big guy actually does lose?
Yeah, never.
It's so rare. And there was just a lot of stuff to this match that I quite enjoyed. I like the way Sami Zayn was directing traffic.
Yeah.
I like the way that at one point in time you could see beneath the ring and you could see a little bit of a monitor there that The Undertaker must have been watching. Maybe The Undertaker was even under the ring by this point, because I don't know, at some point they would have pulled him out. So, like, I don't know. Maybe at some point in time, Sami Zayn and The Undertaker were just chilling out under the ring watching the match.
Maybe.
And then, yeah, the result. You can't argue with Sami Zayn winning the IC title. That's great.
It's good.
Yeah,
It's actually good news,
especially
for you,
if you
Adam.
draft him first.
Yeah, he was my first draft pick. That is legit. The only positive that went through my mind was like, wow, now Sammy's not going to be getting a 2. He's going to be getting maybe a 4 or a 5 or something. I really hope he has the best next couple of weeks ever, because I really need him to do well for the draft scoring. But let's not forget, Braun Strowman's my guy.
So why was this bad?
Well, listen, I agree with you on the result, because as we always say, it's nice to be surprised. It's nice to be shocked. And that was a shock. And my mouth was agape, and I was thinking, oh my God. And it was mostly because it was a shock, but it was also looking at Braun Strowman lying there, having just lost the title that he's, 4.5 years and he hasn't had a title. Now he's got one. Now, I mean, who knows? He could win it back on Friday on SmackDown or whatever. But I just thought the actual match itself is, handicap matches when I was watching, I don't enjoy watching them because it's just not, oh God, I don't want to say it's not realistic, but
It's not fair.
no, it's just okay. The result is good because it's surprising, and I agree. Sami Zayn, it was a massive shock, but the match itself was my least favourite match to watch from bell to bell.
Oh, that's a real shame. I quite enjoyed a few spots in this. I liked the Kinshasa on the apron into the ring post. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I like what they tried to do with the double suplex haluva kick. I don't think it quite worked, but
Yeah,
I can't believe they got him up.
I didn't mind that.
yeah, they got the pin from it. I really liked Sami Zayn kind of getting back up on the ring apron at the end to really rub it in as well. Proper good heel work from the guy.
But I had a look, and Sami Zayn's last match on Raw or SmackDown was in December.
Well, he's doing pretty well in 2020 so far.
But I mean, that's the thing. I'm not saying it's bad, but that it's like what? I think it's just because I love Braun Strowman.
I feel like this is an age-old battle between you and I, and my love of Sami Zayn and your love of Braun Strowman.
No. I honestly don't have a problem with Sami Zayn. I was just I really I was hoping Braun was going to go into WrestleMania with the belt, and then he probably still will. He probably still will. Or at least,
I mean, if not, he's probably going to smash Sami Zayn up at WrestleMania on the pre-show.
yeah, because actually, as he was coming down with the belt, I was like, "This is great," because I remember that WrestleMania where he was in the Andre the Giant Battle Royale, and then I think the next year he was in it again. And it's just like, he's not... I feel like he should be having his WrestleMania moment. And now he's going to get it because he's champ. And then he lost.
The nice thing about this, though, is that these kind of stories tend to lend themselves at some point towards a cage match. And if you give me Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman in a cage, I'm well on board with that.
Yeah. Okay. No, I totally get your opinions. And I do agree with the surprise of it and it being like a pleasant shock. But yeah. It was still my worst of the rest, but maybe I'm just playing up to the fanboy for Braun stuff. I mean, if I could suggest what I thought my best of the rest match was, because I think you guys will want to talk about it as well, but it would be the second match, Carrillo versus Andrade.
Oh, yeah.
Did you enjoy it? I just think the ferocity that these guys work at, the pace that they were going at, was brilliant. Was just it's sort of inspiring to watch.
Andrade is a big mean boy, isn't he?
Starting off with that big back elbow, or the Judas effect, as some of us might call it. Did you like it, Brett?
Yeah, no, I did. It was one of those. Again, this was another one of those matches that I did really enjoy, but yeah, it just didn't peak.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, I love Carrillo doing like the swan dive over the referee into the outside.
Yeah, that was a nice moment.
Very cool. And it led to some really cool, crazy pinning combinations straight after that as well, which was absolutely lovely.
So there was a very funny segment in this match where Humberto Carrillo was like, Andrade was pulling up the mat to kind of like attack Humberto Carrillo, and then Humberto Carrillo counters with a big back body drop onto the mat, which had been folded over.
Yeah, onto the nice soft double tap.
Twice as soft. And then true. Andrade's selling of it was as if he had fallen onto the concrete, and it was just like, neat.
I think this was my favourite match.
I think this was a good match. I like the excuse they had for Andrade being off for 30 days, which was bad DDT or something.
Yeah, they said it was an injury, didn't he? He's come back from injury. Like injury?
Well, because he'd been planted into the concrete. I quite like the fact that they actually this feud they've actually managed to give Humberto Carrillo a little bit of personality. And actually, he looks pretty terrifying, doesn't he? If you saw him walking down the street, you'd cross over the road.
Humberto Carrillo looks like he's come straight out of the 90s.
He does a bit.
Yeah.
It's like a new metal band. He's probably a bass player or something like that, maybe.
He's like S.A. Rios in disguise or something.
Yeah. But, yeah, the pace of it, and particularly the bit where Andrade did his double knees into the corner, that looked brutal. And actually, going back to what Brett said, there was no sort of moments where you kind of popped hard. That, for me, was probably one of my highlights, because I was just like, I can't believe how fast this is going and how nasty a lot of these rooms look. Moves.
What I was impressed with as well is obviously the first match we had like a technical match, and then we had like a lucha match. I thought, WWE's giving us lots of different styles of wrestling here.
Yeah. So there we go. Best of the rest. So Sam, you said one, I said one. Brett, got anything else?
I'll just quickly go with Street Profits retaining.
What? Oh, God, I hated that match.
No.
Oh, yes, differing opinions.
I didn't hate the match. I thought the match was all right. But no, not the match. Just the Street Profits retained the titles. That was the best bit.
Can I quickly say, I thought actually AJ versus Aleister Black was a really good match. And the Undertaker gong seriously got me excited. I don't know why.
What's wrong with you, John?
So
what
bored
is
during
wrong
this
with
match,
you?
I fell asleep.
Are we just skipping over Street Profits, Seth, buddy, then? Is that
I don't
is that
have a
what we're
lot
doing?
to say about Street Profits Seth, buddy. It just felt like a kind of
Raw match.
a by the numbers match that they kind of
Well,
just wanted to get the Kevin Owens Seth Rollins feud rolling with.
My third thing I wrote down for best of the rest was just Kevin Owens in general.
Yeah.
I think we know he's not necessarily being utilised how he should be. I think this is going to build to something pretty special at WrestleMania, hopefully. And that bit where he was sitting there with the popcorn and then he just points as Dawkins ran in and took Rollins out, just with a straight face. It was so funny. He's amazing.
And my thing, like the Street Profits, Ford and Dawkins, they have so much charisma.
Yeah.
Those guys
Yeah, they
are
do.
pure entertainment. And Montez Ford is like a freak athlete.
He's a
as
human
well.
spring.
Yeah.
I half agree with you. That
You don't like Dawkins, we know.
he's the Marty Jannetty of that team. Fighting
Oh, I think that's harsh.
Yeah,
I think so.
He's definitely not the better of the two, but he is as entertaining.
I think
I want to see a tag team of what's his name again? I can't even remember it. Angelo Dawkins and Tucker.
I know, that's what I was
Get
going
on.
to say. You always like to single somebody out of these tag teams. I think they're good. I think they need each other. They need each other? I don't know what we're talking about. So, let's go back to where John tried to take us. He tried to get in there and move us straight over to the Aleister Black versus AJ match before we had a chance to talk about Street Profits. I agree with you, John. I thought this use of The Undertaker was actually pretty good and got me kind of hyped, which is probably an awful mistake to make.
Yeah, it did make me think that if there's anyone on the roster that can maybe get a half decent match out of him, maybe it is AJ.
Yeah, I kind of feel like AJ's not. He's not really in the same league as he was even a year ago. I'm not a fan of cocky heel AJ at all. I mean, we talked about this in our 100th episode, didn't we?
Yeah, I like cocky heel AJ.
I like cocky heel AJ.
I don't.
But
This has been the most divisive pod in a long time.
But
really has.
for being one of his biggest fans, I think it's sad to see, but AJ Styles, I don't think he's on the downward now. So whether he still can get a match out of the Undertaker is yet to be seen.
The question is whether or not. I mean, I thought, will Aleister Black be involved in this? Because Aleister Black
Triple
Undertaker,
threat with Taker.
Aleister Black versus Undertaker is something that it's kind of like if you were playing WWE 2K20 and you had both of them in their prime, it'd be amazing. The two entrances and obviously the characters. But I mean, now it looks like Black might be going up against Rollins, seeing what happens on Raw, but who knows? But yeah, Styles, a slow-mo phenomenal forearm is still one of the most beautiful things.
Yeah.
See him gliding through the air like that. But yeah, that's about all he's got for me.
But like the thing is, I think he's in like so much pain. I think these days, like he's constantly having his knees worked on. I think straight away after matches and stuff. But I think he said like, when he's there standing at the ropes, ready to do his phenomenal forearm, he's psyching himself up to do that spring, like whereas before it would have been automatic. Now it's like, right, I need to psych myself up to get into this. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
yes,
How old is he? 42. Bit of information, AJ Styles. Alan Neil Jones is an American professional wrestler currently signed to WWE. He's 42.
What shape does he think the Earth is?
He thinks the Earth is flat. And apparently his wife is called Wendy. Which is how it's spelled.
nice.
But I agree that this match, I was like, oh God, here we go. The OC are out here and we all know what's going to happen. It's no DQ. And part of me was like, just get it over with. Just attack Black. But the fact that they did that and then The Undertaker came and Black got to win, I thought, okay, that was a little different. I didn't
That
mind
Black Mass as well. AJ sold that so well. Like,
I
Black
mean,
Mass is one of the best finishes.
did
in
you see the
wrestling.
slow-mo? Like he pretty much took a boot to the face.
it probably helps with the selling if you legitimately kick him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I normally hate these matches where they have that injury angle because I always think they're a bit slow and ploddy. But I thought this had some great strikes. And
This match for me was actually in worst of the rest as opposed to best of the rest. I really didn't enjoy it. I feel like kind of it doesn't need to be a no disqualification match between these two. They've got enough in the tank to do something more than that.
Yeah, you'd hope.
That was to allow the OC, really, though, wasn't it?
And then
I guess so.
in turn Taker, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought it was a slightly strange match overall. Kind of like, I don't think it ever really took off a lot. And yeah, kind of like the whole leg injury thing. Like, I just sort of, it didn't really ever have any kind of speed to it, I guess. No?
Yeah, I think that's fair, but I still enjoyed it anyway. I thought they did a really good job.
Fair.
Okay. Where are we? Any other best of the rest moments that anybody wants to mention? Briefly?
No, nothing for me.
Nope.
Wow, that is a no. Okay, so worst of the rest. I mean, we have had differing opinions, so we've already covered a few of these things, but by the intake of breath, I'm guessing, Sam, you have something you want to add?
I actually feel like, so this is an interesting one, because I don't think I do have many worst of the rest left to do. Like, I feel sort of, this has been a strange pay-per-view in the fact that kind of a lot of the stuff that I strongly dislike, you guys strongly liked in a lot of areas, and vice versa in some cases. So, yeah, I think we can actually swing past worst of the rest.
Yeah, everything's been covered for me as well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I
Wow.
don't have any.
So, in a way, this is the first ever WWE pay-per-view that has no worst of the rest.
Well,
But
no.
In another way, it has lots. Okay, let's move to star performer then, the VIP of the pay-per-view in our opinion. I'm going to go first. Lindsay Dorado for me, just for that mega spot. Sam.
So Drew Gulak.
Brett.
Asuka for her work in a pod.
Oh, that's
That was
great
great.
from the barrel, though, there, Brett.
I mean, it was brilliant.
It was,
yeah.
It's so entertaining. I think she's awesome. So
Hilarious.
that really made me laugh.
In fact, when she was doing that and they cut to Becky watching backstage, you could sort of tell she was trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
And John, who's yours?
I'm going to go Lucha House Party.
That's two people, I'm afraid. Who is your star performer? Not for... No, okay,
If
fine.
you go for Grand Metalik, then
Yeah,
then we've got them both covered.
LHB.
Perfect. Overall rank, give the pay-per-view a score out of 10, work out the
May I?
average.
Go first on this, just
my
to
God.
kind of avoid everyone getting upset with my score.
I hadn't even finished saying what it was.
Yeah,
You're
I
so
want to
keen.
jump straight in there.
Chomping at the bit.
Okay, Sam, go
This
on
is
then.
going to be bad, isn't it? Everyone brace
It's so
yourself.
divisive. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
But that's literally bang in the middle, so that's not
Yeah,
too
exactly.
divisive. That's okay, I think.
I was going to go lower, and you guys have talked me down.
Or we talked you
Or
up.
up.
Yeah.
Or up.
John.
7.
Madness.
Madness. A 7 out of 10.
I was going to go 6.5, but I think Julak and Brian and Andrade and Barto were great.
Okay. Brett.
I'm going 7 as well, because there was... I thought there was really good matches, just not great matches. So it's much better than like where they have, a lot of might as well have not happened.
Okay, and I'm going to go for a 6.
Adam, if you'd gone for a 9 there, we could have got a perfect 7.
No, I think
6.25 out of 10.
I think you're right. There were some good matches, but I just at no point was I like I'm really into this. Apart from maybe the second match, but anyway, I should also say that I had to watch this. I kept on watching like a match and then doing some more work and then doing another match. And last night I could only watch a couple of matches, so it was broken up a lot. I watched it in about 5 sittings.
Oh,
And
actually,
that's
that was smart, because I watched a lot of it yesterday, and I feel like this pay-per-view was just very long for what it was.
Oh God, yeah, 3 hours 40 minutes for a pay-per-view without the 4 champions on is obscene. But so yeah, you say an average of 6.25. Compare that to Elimination Chamber last year, got 6.3, so it's 0.05 worse.
Fascinating.
It also lines up alongside SummerSlam 2018, Fastlane 2019, and what else? We've got one in the spreadsheet here, which is just called WWE.
Well, that was a good one. That one.
It was
generally our rating of WWE.
It was after Survivor Series and before Wrestle Kingdom. So this is confusing.
So it would be a December or January. It could even be a Royal Rumble.
I think we've had some problems. Something's gone wrong in one of our spreadsheets, and as you can imagine, listener, this is going to lead to... We're basically going to have a Cobra-style meeting after the podcast to work out what the hell has happened here and how we can fix it. But 6.25 average, pretty average.
Pretty average.
Oh, one thing. Did you notice during the Rude versus Ziggler promo that they did? After the first match, they did the little promo, and on the screen, there was some weird glitch.
Oh, yeah, I saw it on NXT as well.
Oh, I heard this could be them doing, is it Killer Cross?
Oh.
Because they did some of that stuff when they were bringing Velveteen Dream back. They had some sort of interesting stuff with the
Yeah,
I
circuit.
heard a rumour it was
but
going to
he's
be
back
EC3. It's going to make his debut.
Okay, let's have a break on that bombshell. I don't know. That's just sucked all the life out of us. Let's push some life back into us during this break and come back with some listener comments.
Hardest part of the ring, and Sami Zayn able to dodge that catastrophe.
Okay, we're back with listener comments. Usually John's section, but he's been away on a stag do, so he's the ultimate lad now, and he can't be asked to carry out his duties. So he hasn't managed to get all this together. So we asked Twitter, caught up with WWE Elimination Chamber? ? Send us your thoughts and give it a ranking out of 10.
Oh, this will be interesting.
Oh, that's a new part to this.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get loads. I get the impression that maybe some people have decided to give this pay-per-view a skip. So Will Odinson said probably give it about a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. Some good matches and story progression, but the Women's Chamber definitely struggled with pacing issues.
Yeah.
Zero issue with booking Shayna that dominant. Loved it, but the length waiting for another pod to open was brutal. Shite crowd though.
Yeah.
Do you think the crowd has got something to do with elimination matches? There's a lot of fence. There's a lot of barriers to be able to see what's going on.
I swear as well, it's getting bigger and bigger every year, like the cage. Like the
amazing,
gap
isn't it?
between the ring and the edge of the cage was massive. It's bigger than the room I'm in now.
Yeah, I like it. I do like it. I'd love to have a run around in there. Just myself, just skipping around the outside. Loserweight says, average pay-per-view enlivened by awesome match between Bryan and Gulak, creative spots and good storytelling. I think Drew should have gone over and hope their story continues.
I completely agree with that.
He says, hint WrestleMania Iron Man match, please.
Oh my God. They would never give them an Iron Man match at WrestleMania, but that would be amazing.
Imagine that conversation, like them just saying, oh no, we're going to have to reduce WrestleMania down from 12 hours to 11 because we can't fit the Iron Man match.
Loserweight also said, I did enjoy the main event. They're doing Becky Shayna's story right, biting aside, and Liv Morgan getting killed was memorable. No score out of 10 though, Loserweight, so I'm going to assume you gave it a 2. Capital Clam Face says, I really enjoyed it. I've soured my stance of the Shayna booking a bit, as having gone back and rewatched, it's going to be difficult for any of those in the Chamber match to be credible challengers on the assumption that Shayna wins at Mania. Very good point. If it had been more competitive, I think that would have made it better overall, but I understand Shayna getting the Goldberg at SummerSlam 2003 treatment.
Quick question. So obviously, kind of like with the women's WrestleMania matches, we're going to have like Shayna, Becky, Charlotte, Rhea, and then it sounds like Bayley versus Paige. Who was going over in those matches?
Where's that come from?
What?
Oh, that's what I've been hearing.
Have you got your sources inside WWE, Sam?
I've got my sources called a wrestling website, which seems to indicate that it's going to be Paige, Becky, Bayley. But just even if you ignore that one, so kind of like Rhea versus Charlotte and Becky versus Shayna, I can't imagine both NXT girls winning those matches.
Oh, I don't think Charlotte's getting that belt.
No, I don't think it makes sense for Charlotte to win that belt either.
Maybe Becky retains, but it'd be good if Becky loses, I reckon. Who knows?
See,
Who knows?
thing.
It's a crazy world of wrestling, Sam.
Yeah, I think Becky is going over.
I can't find anything about Paige.
Oh,
On this, on dailyddt.com, it said
know-
it looks like Sasha Banks versus Bayley.
Do you know what? I'm starting this news here. I'm breaking the news. Yeah.
And then it actually, on Bleacher Report, WWE announces Jeff Hardy and Paige will return on SmackDown. And that was today. Interesting.
God, I thought you were saying Bleacher Report reports that Jeff Hardy versus Paige for WrestleMania. I'd watch that.
Yeah, I probably would too.
I'm sorry, back to Capital Clown Face.
Sorry.
Is
Capital
Bleacher
Clown
Report
Face.
quoting Sam there, though, in their sources?
No. It won't be too long, though, I'm sure. So sorry, yeah, Capital Clan Face, he finished by saying Bryan versus Gulak was great and the other chamber match was pretty good. 7.5 out of 10, methinks. Yeah, so there you go.
Fair.
Thank you very much, listeners, those of you who did get in touch. That is it for our chat about Elimination Chamber. Now, I did tease at the start of the podcast that we are going to do a little giveaway in the run-up to WrestleMania. We haven't done a giveaway for ages. I think on like episode 4 we gave away a load of stuff. We did a big one for episode 50 in the live podcast that we did at the London Podcast Festival. We basically gave away everything we had.
So we've not done a giveaway since.
Yeah, I think it's true.
Materially wise and emotionally.
Yeah, I was looking for stuff to give away. Oh no, we put that in the goodie bag for the live pod. So what we have decided to do though is to give away a t-shirt. People who looked on the shop back in the day before we took it down will remember we had 2 beautiful Hardest Part of the Ring t-shirts that were designed by Brett. Both of them really cool. And we thought what we could do is give away a t-shirt. And the way we're going to do it is we do always ask for people to leave us reviews. And, you know, sometimes people do, but like everybody these days, you can hear that on a lot of podcasts and you tend to just move on and go on to whatever you're doing next. So what we thought, if you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, so through your iPhone or through iTunes, if you don't have an iPhone, somebody does. I think they're fairly popular. Maybe your auntie or your dad or whoever might have an iPhone.
Just a computer.
Yeah, get onto a computer, get onto Apple Podcasts or iTunes, open up Hardest Part of the Ring. Click 5 stars. Well, click however many stars you like, preferably 5. I think we've got all 5 stars except for one guy who gave us 3. Do you remember? He was like, oh, I think it's okay.
Do you know what? His review, though, was probably the most helpful one we've ever had, which was basically, I don't like politics. Like, he said, like, we sound like politicians, and we do.
I think he was like, yeah, we need a bit more energy. And yeah, he did. He said, I don't want to hear like a political debate, which was, anyway, weird. If you're still listening, hi.
He's not still listening.
But yeah, leave us a star rating, but more importantly, leave us a nice review or write what you think of the pod. Any feedback's welcome. And then take a screenshot, send it to us on Twitter. Brett will give us the details in a minute, or on Instagram or via email, whatever. If you're thinking, I've already done this, I've left you a review and I want a t-shirt, then by all means just send us a screenshot of that review, log on and screenshot it again, and you can submit that. And then on our WrestleMania podcast, we will do a draw, pick out a winner who will get a t-shirt of their choice. You can pick one of the 2 designs. We will post the designs on Twitter over the next few days. And then we'll do some runner-up stuff as well, send out some stickers and things like that. So does that sound good, guys?
That sounds amazing.
So, just out of curiosity, if someone goes onto our iTunes and leaves a 0-star review and says, I hate this show and everyone involved in it,
we'll send them a t-shirt. I can't promise
Okay.
I won't have found somebody with kind of coronavirus and rubbed it all over their face before we send it.
wow. Cool.
It's up to you, listener. You decide. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. But yeah, we'll remind people of this plan on future pods, and we'll stick it all on social media as well.
I like it because not many podcasts use the biological warfare marketing tactic, but we're sort of...
We're trailblazers.
Yeah.
Ahead of the curve.
I know you brought back a few swabs from Italy.
Well, that was something different. That's my personal collection.
Oh, weird. Next week, before we get onto the social media stuff from Brett, we're going to take a week off. We've had quite the run of shows and obviously planning the episode 100 and then doing the AEW review that same week. So we're going to have a week off and then we'll be back with another episode. Not 100% sure what we're going to do, but maybe a rewind. We haven't done one for ages.
Oh, yeah.
Is it my turn? It feels like it might be.
I was going to say, I was going to try and work out whose turn it is to pick, but maybe, because we've all picked quite a few, maybe we could all select one, or each of us, put forward a few and then put it out to the listeners to decide.
Oh, yeah. I love that idea.
Balls of fire.
Great Balls of Fire. Imagine to go back and review one we've already reviewed.
God, I need
Wouldn't that
to
be weird?
go back
Only the
through
hardcore fans would listen to that episode.
WCW pay-per-views, see which ones I can dredge out.
I think, yeah, we'll pick like a WCW, an old, like maybe even like a, I don't know, I was going to say a golden era, but no, that's probably not possible. I don't know. We'll see. We'll pick out some interesting stuff and we'll get you guys to vote, and we'll be back with that in 2 weeks' time. Until then, Brett, if people want to keep in touch with us, what do they do?
they can send their emails to hardestpartofthering@gmail.com. They can get us on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. We are at hardestpartpod. And that's it for now.
Excellent. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks in advance for leaving us amazing reviews. Goodbye from me, Adam. Goodbye to you, Sam.
See you later.
Goodbye to you, John.
Goodbye.
And goodbye to you, Brett.
Bye.
That was the hardest part of the ring.
That is the hardest part of that ring.